Hello everybody, Jose Rodriguez back again, and I'm going to show you what DATACOLOR provided me with for review. Here we go. It is a Spyder X Elite, and this is used to calibrate your monitor. We're going to go ahead and compare it to the current calibration status of my monitor, which I, of course, calibrated with my X-Rite i1 Pro 2. So we'll see how this performs. It's supposed to have been redesigned, the software and everything, and it is supposed to be the most accurate that they have ever created at this point. So we're going to go ahead and test it. I have the unit right here. Now you're not going to be able to see me do that, but I'm going to go ahead and show you what the software looks like. I'm going to go ahead and unwind all of this nice long USB cable so we can dangle this over our monitor, which is what you're supposed to do. We'll plug this in, and you heard it being recognized. Of course, like with any instrument such as this, you have to calibrate it, and the calibrating puck is right here. So we're just going to let it sit there, let it calibrate itself when we enter the software. We're going to go ahead and do that next. Alrighty, so now we are at our screen presentation. I have gone ahead and opened up the software, and it's got a welcome screen like most of them do. Welcome to the Spyder X Elite software. And then it just tells you what this is going to perform, the steps that it will then accomplish. And if you need to study more about how to use this product, then you simply go here to this link. Let's go ahead and check that out just for the heck of it. And there you go. So this is what you're going to be checking out if you want to learn from the horse's mouth, if you will, how to operate this instrument. We'll hit OK, and it should take us into the actual software. And it sees my... It saw it, it indicated it by the serial number. Of course, you have to register it. The serial number is included in your box packaging, so you just use that to generate a key that you would then install this instrument with. So double prong type registration procedure. We're going to go ahead and calibrate our monitor by using the first choice. Have you allowed your display to warm up for half an hour? And yes, I have. Lighting conditions, please check that no intense light is falling directly on your display. Well, you guys know what I work in, very dark environment. Have you reset your monitor settings? I have. Spyder connection, so we're going to go ahead and plug it in. It's already plugged in. All right, so now we're going to begin our calibration of the unit itself. And we're going to do a desktop application. I guess you can do a laptop as well and a projector. That is nice to know. Indicate which controls your desktop display offers. Brightness, Kelvin presets. Really, I don't think it has any Kelvin presets. We're going to go ahead and just do the brightness. Next. My actual display is a rather old one. Let's read the descriptions of each choice. White LED, select this if your monitor has a wide gamut color space. LED common monitors that fall under this category include Apple P3 displays. Well, you know what? I don't think mine does. Standard LED. Yeah, I think this will be the one that we will use. Maybe, let's see. Common monitors that fall under this category include Apple monitors. No. So we're going to choose this one. Standard LED. We'll just see how this works out at the end. Next. Step-by-step assistant. Yeah, we need that, right? We're going to need that. Again, we're going to do a full calibration of your display. Gamma always at 2.2 recommended. White point at 6500 Kelvin. And brightness, no, we're gonna lower the brightness. I know that for a fact that I need the CDM to 80 setting for the conditions that I work in. Otherwise, it'll just be too bright. And even though the color rendition will be probably correct, my images will turn to print darker than normal because my monitor will be basically set to light, and I will be editing down the brightness kind of subconsciously, and we don't want that. That is one of the biggest problems that people experience when they are printing images, with your monitor being too bright. Now, if this room was brightly lit, then probably 120 would be the more correct setting for brightness. And again, you can just adjust that up and down so that you get out of the printer what you see on your monitor as far as brightness goes. So again, remember, we are doing this blindly. We are not following any of the instructions in the manual. I just want to see if I can do this again like a total newbie at Spyder X Elite and just follow the recommendations here and see what we get in the end. All right, once you click on the next button, a room light measurement will be taken. It's saying that 120 CDM. No, I will keep my original settings. That would be crazy. This monitor would be so bright that all of my prints would print dark. Simple as that. Next, please stay at the computer after you click the next button on the screen. The application will take a few measurements and then wait for you to adjust the brightness control. After the brightness is dialed in the application, we'll continue with the calibration. Okay. And we're going to press this Spyder unit right there in front. We'll see if we can do this without too much a problem. Move my microphone out of the way a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and manually hold it right where it's telling us to do that. As you can see, I'm actually holding it right there. I'm going to click on next and just see what happens. And it's going through its measurements, just like any other monitor calibration instrument does. You have our red, our green, our blue, our white, and it is saying to change it. The target is 80 CDM2 and the current is 81.9. So we're going to go ahead and update. Click update after you made the adjustment. Yeah, there you go. It just adjusted itself. Great. I think I needed to turn that other panel off. Continue. So now I have it set at the correct level for intensity. Now it's going to go ahead and calibrate the monitor, going through the various shades of red, green, and blue. And hopefully it'll do yellow, magenta, and cyan as well. It's supposed to only take a couple of minutes to perform its calibration. And then if I visually see something different as far as the rendition of my standard image, if I do not, if it looks neutral to me, then I will be more than satisfied with this calibration. Again, this will be the first time I have ever used a DATACOLOR product, but it seems to have a very good reputation, and if anyone is interested, I will have this available on my Amazon affiliate page for you guys to purchase. Later on, maybe I will then explore their print unit, which is the one that they produce for the production of ICC profiles for your papers, printers, and ink combinations. And we'll see how those perform. So far it's going through the process without any kind of problems. Again, I could dangle this over the back of my monitor, but I have my little webcam attached to it, and it would kind of get in the way, and I would want to have it centered like I have it now. So I prefer to just do it that way. I'm leaning forward here, holding the puck against the screen gently. You don't want to press into an LCD screen because it will cause distortions. So again, it's just proceeding with the normal type of calibration process. It's going to linearize the color rendition. Here we go. It is done. Finished. That was very quick. Now we're going to go ahead and save it. I'm going to name it DATACOLOR Spyder X. So we're going to go ahead and DATACOLOR. Learn how to type, Jose. Spyder X Elite. There we go. All right. So we will probably set it for we'll just leave it there, a 1 month reminder. It's always pretty normal procedure for people to recalibrate their monitor at least monthly. That keeps everything linearized, and in case there's any drifting of your results, you can always bring it back to your standard. So they recommend once a month to do the calibration. Again, it really didn't take a long time to do that. So here's a standard image that the same just like I have, and we'll go ahead and check it out. So you are looking at the calibrator view. Click the switch button for the uncalibrated view. So this is before and this is after. So I have to wonder whether this warmer result that they claim was my original result is better than this, which seems to me, at least at first, a little bit greenish. I'll have to go ahead and open up a standard image in my editor and see what that looks like. So again, this is before, this is after. I think it may have reset my monitor to a non-calibrated condition and then perform the calibration. So we'll just leave it like that and proceed with the next step. Let's see what else can we explore here. Standard set custom. What would that be? What is that? Oh, you can open up an image. Let's open up our standard image. Most definitely. If I could find them. Here we go. All right, here's our standard image. And we'll look at that. Oh, there is a difference. Again, folks, this is all live. This is not edited in any way, shape, or form. Now, it does open up the shadows more. It certainly does. And I would say that I may prefer this. I can see step 4. I can see step 6. But I cannot here. So even though this kind of looks relatively neutral to me, the red, this is, of course, remember, this is uncalibrated, okay? So I think this looks really great right here. It did a great job on the reds of the strawberry. It did a great job. Let's see, this is uncalibrated. We're looking at the auto gamut colors here, and look at that. Look at the difference. Yeah, definitely better. Now, we're looking for a smooth transition with no banding. And it seems to have done a good job there as well. Notice the difference in rendition of the cyan and the green. Look at how dull it looks there. And look at how much more brilliant it looks. You know, when it's not calibrated, it's supposed to look more like this. Let's look at the kids' faces. Uncalibrated looks really bad and dull. And you can see that this here, again, looks very dull. This is calibrated now. And you can see how it just increased the saturation level to the correct level. Because these regions right here are totally out of gamut. So are these. Okay, any printer will have a hard time reproducing these colors. It will not have a hard time reproducing these here. So again, this is really working out well. I think I'm very satisfied with this. Again, let's go back and look at that very dull looking, uncalibrated version, and after calibration. Let's look at some of these other areas here. Again, the region of the aspen trees here in the fall, very nice yellow, and then boom, they just light up. Look at that. Look at the sky here. This is supposed to be a deep cyan and then very gradually changing to a lighter cyan. And really the transition is almost gone, okay, when it is not calibrated. So that is not bad. And now I assume you can do a bit of tuning here. So you can actually, let's see, if you want to look at your image here a little bit, you can actually set your brightness lower. You can actually see that it's globally reducing the brightness. I think it's perfect right now. Again, I see a really great smooth transition on the ramp. Really good. As good as I was getting with my $1,500 calibrator. Okay. So we're talking $200 here, and this is truly, truly wonderful. So we'll leave it at that, and we're going to go ahead and then go over to next. So we'll go ahead and save them. Everything is now saved. And this is our 99% of sRGB. Wow. So that's not bad. That's not bad. All right, this gets into other areas that I guess we don't really have to get into, because the point of this video was to basically just calibrate the monitor to a standard that we can then use for editing. So let's go ahead and quit. I think this is basically done already. We'll go ahead. Let's open up Lightroom or Photoshop. Let's open Photoshop and then open our standard image. This looks really, really clean. Wonderful. Again, this is supposed to be neutral, folks. So it's looking very neutral to me. I'm looking at my other monitor, which I should calibrate as well. It probably needs it. All right, here's our image. And wow, yeah, that is fantastic. I can definitely see. Let me give you an actual reading. Let me go to Windows and go to the info. Now we're going to go ahead and hover over this step right here, 4. And you should be able to see, look right here, folks, right here, this upper area here, 4. I can see 4. I can see it clearly there. And 2, 2, 2, 2. You see? 10, 10, 10. 14, 14, 14, and so on. And then as you go up the ramp, you see that it is actually neutral. Otherwise, the values would not be the same on the RGB values. So let's see, our black point here is up. The blackest point, there it is, 0, 0, 0. And then we have 1, 1, 1, which is just a hair above pure black. Pure black would be you just poured some black ink on your paper, literally. So, hey, I think that was a success. I don't think I have any complaints over this. And let me go back to full video tutorial mode. So, would I recommend this? Not because it was given to me for review. The answer is, of course, yes. And again, if you prefer a video done by the experts, go to their website. I'm sure that they have one probably up in YouTube about how to properly set this up. Again, remember, I work in a dark environment. You see how dark this is. That's why I had to throttle down the brightness down to 80 CDM2. If you work in a lit room, then you can do 120 or let it automatically choose a setting for you. Now you can basically begin to edit and be assured that what you are viewing is a correct rendition of your image, which is nothing but a bunch of digital values, okay? Whether you corrected your image with a camera calibration or profile or not, what you are seeing will be a correct rendition of that. And that way, then you can trust your editing. Because if the display is showing your image as greenish or bluish or yellowish, you're going to counteract that bias by adding the opposite shade of or tint. And that way will produce but what looks correct on your monitor, but it will be incorrect when the printer gets it, because the printer was calibrated, not calibrated, but verified by you by simply printing this image. And then you came back here and adjusted your monitor using the software to match. After you did the normal calibration, you then proceeded to adjust the monitor slightly this way or that way so that it matches this. Now the two match. That's it. You've reached your goal. That's all you have to do. From now on, you can trust your monitor 100%, that it is displaying whatever it receives from your images correctly. All right. Thank you so much. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Don't forget, I will have this on my affiliate page from Amazon.com. The link is available on all of my video descriptions, so you can always access that. And if you're interested in buying that, $200. It's a great unit so far. I'm going to do some further testing later on and see what else I can extract from that. So thank you again. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like. And of course, as always, happy printing. Bye-bye, everybody.